Hey everybody, that is Gary Smith.
Hello there.
That is Kaz Kenny.
Kapow!
And I am Eddie Bramble, and this is episode 72 of the Blackwater's Edge podcast. 72. We think, Kaz?
Do you know what year I was born in?
I don't know.
We're real close on that episode count. I can tell you that.
Here I graduated from high school.
Did you graduate in 72?
Yes, I did.
How about that? That's crazy, man. I know one thing. It has been hotter than all get out here, man.
Well, it is August, so that's kind of expected.
19, not 18.
Well, I'm... Chiggers.
Just in case somebody sends a comment in. I'll just cut that off quick.
Well, I mean, fishing's been pretty tough. You know, we've been talking to some people.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold on, before you get in that.
Oh.
Who's the sponsor of this fishing report, Kaz?
I have no idea. You want to help me out there,
Is it
Eddie?
his Anglers?
It is Anglers. Look, folks, our fishing report is brought to you by Angler Sports Center up there in Annapolis. Look, when you need something to go fishing, you need something to go hunting, or if you need something to just snack on, like I was there the other day, you know, they got Slim Jims, they got little bags of nuts and things like that, and chips and all kinds of stuff. I don't drink, but
candy?
Yep, they got lots of candy. But you know what? I literally forgot about the candy aisle because I was so obsessed about the other stuff.
Yeah,
I really wanted one of them really, really big fat Slim Jims for some reason for the ride home.
He forgot about the candy.
Yeah, so one of my crab customers brought me this stuff over the weekend, and this week we've been eating this up, and I'll tell you what, we think Garrett smells pretty good, isn't it?
Far out, man.
First thing they said is, can we eat these? And I said that was the first thing I said when they gave them to me. I was like, are these okay to eat? They're like, yeah, man, we know you don't do that shit. There you go. I'm like, okay, good deal. So anyway, I told Gary before we got going here, you know, that they were them good gummies. Anyway, so Angler Sports Center, if you need guns, if you need bullets, if you need fishing rods, if you need fishing reels, fishing line, anything like that, look, they've got great live feeds that they're doing over there to keep you updated on what's going on in and around the Chesapeake Bay and to help you get ready for the upcoming hunting season. Look, I know folks out there are getting so excited. It's almost time to let the arrow fly, you know. So I know I'm seeing some good stuff here, Gary. What have you been seeing as far as deer? I mean, I don't let the cat out the bag, but I've seen some of the biggest dang deer I've ever seen here in my life this year. I'm not kidding you. I'm serious. Now, you've been here a long time. I mean, I'm not lying when I say that, am I?
Yeah, they were nice deer.
Why don't you tell them about your stand you got finished the other day?
Oh, yeah, I found that. Well, I don't have any deer around my stand because I've been making so much noise making this stand. I had an idea a while back, and when lumber got up so high, being a builder, I'm cheap, and I had an idea to take basically electric spools. The cable comes on and make a stand out of it, so I did that. I had a friend of mine gave me a couple spools, and I turned around and made a stand out of it, and actually turned out pretty nice. I'll post some pictures of it. I posted on a couple sites, but I haven't put it on Blackwater's Edge, but I will. I'll put it on there tonight.
I know that.
Take a look at it.
I know that my Uncle Wayne, he saw it and he said, "Man, did you see that thing Gary built?" I said, "Yeah,
It's awesome."
I said, "That's just all talk." And Gary, there's a good possibility that if we can get our hands on some of these spools, that we may be offering a few available to the public. We're trying to work on some numbers, what we think we need. But look, I got to
start on another one tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to tell you, for those folks that are into hunting, once you see this design and this stand that Gary's come up with, you are just going to be blown away. Look, I've seen a lot of stuff that Gary's built over the years. I've worked with Gary. I know some of the stuff that he does, and I'm telling you what. You're just a great builder, man. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You know what I mean? If you need something built, he'll find it. He'll do it. You know what I mean? Look at the troughs that we made for the Snakeheads, and he came up with that. The Channidae chopper, Gary came up with that. You know, I don't know what Gary does. I think he eats some of these gummies, and he must be home and sit around a table all that night long and think about what he's going to build. You know?
Oh, that's far out, man. Yeah, we make one of them.
But no, that stand it's a very efficient stand.
That's how it worked in the 70s.
I'll change my podcast in here, man. I'm having fun already.
Oh, man.
I missed this. So look, seriously, if you're up in Annapolis, you need bait from the Bait Boyz. You know, Damien's got Snakehead Destroyers up there. If you're looking for that special bait to catch them snakeheads when the bite gets tough, stop in there. Look, there's all kinds of stuff you can find at Angler Sports Center. We just love Mike. We just love the girls. We love everybody up there, and you know, we're real grateful to have them as well. We'll see them in a couple weeks down here. We got our next tournament coming up.
Yep.
But
last tournament
of the year. But we might have some other stuff coming up throughout the winter that we haven't touched on yet, but we will let the cat out of the bag in the next week or two. So you know, stay tuned for some of that. As far as the fishing goes, you know, it's really been right time, right place.
Little Blackwater's been hot.
Little Blackwater's heating up, and this is the thing that we've been saying this whole year. We know the snakeheads are still here. You know, everybody said they're not here. They're gone. That's not the case. You know, what you have to understand is there's no food. There's not going to be any fish. So if they've ate the food out and there's nothing to eat, I'm moving to the other rivers just like they're doing right now. And the only reason I know this is because we deal with the netters. We know where everybody's netting at. We know what's going on in each one of these systems. If anybody needs any fresh snakehead, I've got some today. Let me know. Anyway, so you know, the fish are here. The fish are big. There are numbers of fish here, and we're catching them. So the key is, like I said, right place, right time. A lot of it has to do with tide.
Isn't that always the key? Right place,
Yeah,
right
well,
time?
yeah, but I mean, like right now with this heat, you can't really effectively. Like I've gone 4 or 5 times and it's been this, and then the next day that's not it.
Right.
So, you know, it's all about adjustments right now, which we all know that with this heat like this. I mean, and you know, here's the funny thing, you know, like we were talking about how hot it gets in some of these ditches, you know, over 100, 110 degrees. And I was watching the thread somewhere else, and another guy said, yeah, that's what happened to all the fish down there in Blackwater. It got too hot. So, you know, that's not the case, man. What I want to point out is this, you know, where this guy was at has the same basic scenarios, mill ponds, ditches, things like that. Now, I wanted to fire back and be like, well, let's talk about these ditches here. Let's talk about that, because I can guarantee you right now they're 110 degrees. There's no doubt in my mind they're out in the wide open middle of the road, you know? So that's not a way to talk about why we don't have snakeheads. You know, it has nothing to do with heat, salt. We were back on that again this week. You know, Jim came in there and talked about that. There has never been too much salt for any of these fish to tolerate. That's not the reason these fish died, you know, or have been removed from the equation. And as far as runoff goes, water quality, our water quality has been the best it's been the last 4 or 5 years than it's been in the last 20. So you can't look at all that. You know, things change with time. I will say that, but I think what we've seen this year, you know, we've seen some decline in some of the fish in Big Blackwater, but we know why.
Major decline in the Big Blackwater.
But what have we seen the increase of? The carp numbers.
Yeah, carp's exploding.
I mean, the carp are out of control. And this is the thing people don't look at in the long span of, you know, introduction.
Well, this is only 1 year.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what
You
I was
got
about
to
to say
look
too.
at next year. You can't.
Yeah.
But if anybody's happy about the carp, it's a red coat angler. I bet he is.
Yeah.
I bet he's tearing up the Big Blackwater right now.
Yeah.
Because he loves fishing carp.
I think he also likes fishing for carp. It's Tommy Robinson,
Yeah.
amped up. He loves catching
Yep.
carp, man. He's caught some nice carp. But yeah, so you know, this is what we really think, and I know Gary, you think this kind of too. So. You know, in Big Blackwater, what's happened is, you know, so many fish were getting into the system, let's say, okay? We saw the fry balls in Buttons Creek. We saw the fry balls at the footbridge. We saw the fry balls in wide open water last year. We knew them fish weren't gone.
Right.
You know, when you're seeing fry balls the size of dump trucks out there swimming around, you know, and then talking 8, 9 of them right out in the middle of Key Wallace, I mean,
I was just about to
you
say
can't
that.
tell me the fish are gone the next year. It comes down to food. It comes down to what's available. You know, where did we catch a lot of our fish early in the season? Ditches, shallows, places people couldn't get to, places out of the river, places up a little stretch, up a stream, a little stream. I mean, a little stream that just feeds something.
That's one thing that,
You know?
I think that's one thing a lot
That's
of people
where they
haven't
went
talked
looking
about.
for food. You know what I mean?
A lot of people haven't talked about this year. The bank fishing is what's really been declined. Anybody with a kayak or boat is tearing them up.
Oh, yeah.
The bank fishing is really what's on decline. The snakeheads have figured out where they can come up to the banks and where they can't. I think that's a big part of it that people haven't realized.
And we've said it 100 times, and we've said it just through some of the studies we've done here, the memory of the fish.
Right, that's exactly
You
right.
know, and I give the snakehead credit on that. You know, they got great memory. So, you know, it's hot, it's tough. Be willing to adjust, make necessary adjustments. And we got some great guests today with some great lures that will help you to make those adjustments when you're out there and the fishing gets tough.
That's right. So this week we have Steve and Jessie from Goodlines Lure Co. How you doing, guys?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. Good. So for those who don't know about you, why don't you just give a quick background about yourself? Jessie, you can go first, then we'll hand it over to Steve.
Cool. Yeah, I've been fishing for a long time, and you know, fell in love with snakehead fishing about 4 years ago, and Steve and I have been targeting them pretty exclusively during the summer warm months, and we made a decision to make lures that we wanted to use for them, and colors that we like to use, that were built, you know, size and you know, action for snakeheads. So
Just a little bit closer to the mic for me.
yeah, sure.
Yep.
You know, I've known you for a little bit, Jesse, and I just want to talk a little bit about, you know, how I've watched you grow, you know, out here. And I think one of the greatest things that we've all said here together is that we really enjoy watching people grow. We really enjoy the things that people are doing to make themselves a seed in this snakehead game. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know that you like snakehead fishing, but let's talk about where Jesse came from. You know, where are you from? How'd you get here? You know, let's talk a little bit about you as a kid. You know, what got you fired up? We know you're building a great bait. It's an amazing bait. I can tell you that. You know, I've had it in my hand. I've thrown it. It swims great. Have I caught a fish yet? No, I've only thrown it a couple times. Am I going to? You bet your ass I am. So, you know, I just want to talk about where you came from and how you got here, you know, because it's the journey between both of you is absolutely amazing from what I've read and what you've shared with me.
Sure. Yeah. I was born in northern Minnesota, Duluth, real close to Canada, and up there it's a lot different than around here. There's no tide, there's no salt, there's no brackish water, so we fish for walleyes and yellow perch in the summer, and then in the wintertime we fish for them through the ice. And
Well, you're Kaz's new best friend
You
now,
ain't
talking about
kidding,
ice
right?
fishing.
You ain't
Yeah,
kidding.
I mean, it's-
man, I live for that. Y'all talking about how hot it is. I'm over here like, man, I can't wait for ice fishing. Forget this shit, man.
yeah, I miss it. Yeah, so fishing since I was 3. My grandfather, he taught me everything that I knew up until these things came around, and I've loved it. Everywhere I've lived all over the country, California, Texas, North Dakota.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've fished everywhere. Trout fishing, ocean fishing. It's just something I have to do no matter where I am. So.
I think we can all relate to that a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
Fishing's something we have to do. That'd be a good shirt. It's what we have to do.
Yeah.
So, Steve, tell us a little bit about you. Where'd you come from, brother? I know you relocated over here too a little bit. I was understanding.
Yeah, I'm originally from Cecil County.
Okay.
And I think one of my earliest memories of fishing was my dad got me a fishing pole for Christmas. And we went down to Perryville Park in Cecil County, right? Fishing off a dock down there. And my first cast, I threw the line and the fishing pole all together right in the water.
That's probably one of the
That's
best first
fantastic.
Oh,
yet.
man. I was so upset. My dad went and got a branch, dug it out of the water. And I was in love.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's probably one of my earliest memories. I know, hearing talk from the family, they took us all when we were very young and fishing, and I've just had a passion for it ever since. I've, rockfish, tuna fish, everything and anything in between. Port Flats, I go down there when like the shad are running, shad darts, hook up some big shad, and
So, you're chasing snakeheads now. Through the years, I know you say you caught this, you caught that. What was the first fish that you got that you remember, man, that kind of like got you fired up? I mean, was it something up there in Perryville that you caught? Was it something?
probably largemouth bass.
Largemouth bass.
Yeah, and so I'm right-handed, but I reel with my
Left-handed.
right hand.
Oh, with your right hand.
So
Wow.
it's pretty funky. So my first fishing pole, or not my first fishing pole, I had a fishing pole I used one time, and it was a nice pin reel, so I wanted to use it all the time, but I had to flip it upside down.
Oh, he was one
We
of them
talk-
guys.
we
One of
talk
them
all the time.
guys.
Yeah.
We
Counterclockwise.
Yep. So I think bass fishing's what really got me into it. So when the snakeheads came around, and everybody's throwing bass lures. Snakeheads are a little different though. Their mouths are a little smaller. They have a little more of a short strike sometimes. So like the lures we designed and everything kind of wrap around the snakehead as a species instead of just using always bass lures or mimicking bass lures. We're kind of trying to design them more towards the snakehead.
Let me go back to Jesse for a minute here.
Sure.
So Jesse, when was the first time? Where did you catch your first snakehead? When did you catch your first snakehead? Let's talk about your first snakehead.
My first snakehead was in Easton, Maryland, actually, and
You mean you didn't have to come to Blackwater to get it?
I didn't. I actually had never even heard of them. So I cast a bass spinner, at the ponds that everybody in Easton probably knows about, and it hit, and I caught it, and I was like, what the F is this thing? I had no clue, and I threw it back in. At that time, there was a kill order on them all, of course, but I had no idea, and it was probably another year or two that went by before I even thought that they were something to go after. So. I wasn't hooked on my first fish. It was
okay.
It was a happy accident, I guess. But
That's interesting. It's funny because a lot of people that once they catch it that first time, they're instantly hooked.
Yeah.
So it took
Yeah.
you a couple times before you actually got hooked into them.
it was probably the second time that I caught
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big was your first one you got?
I think it was probably 20 inches.
Yeah, average size.
So you caught your first one, and then what do you think? Another year or two? How did we get to? I'm gonna build some baits, man. I think we need some baits out here in the market. How did you get to that? Is it that you weren't hooking up? Were you losing fish? Were you missing fish? I mean, what made Jesse say, "I think we should build some baits"?
Well, it was Steve and I together. We like I said, we had been fishing for a long time. We had then been snakehead fishing for a long time, and
Yeah, Steve, hold on. Don't take anything personal. I know you guys are a team. If I direct something to him, that's all.
No, you're good. You're good.
yeah, and I think it was more out of like, what should we do? Not like, hey, what can we do to catch these fish better? It was just like, what should we do? Let's do something.
We wanted to get involved.
We don't want to work for the man for the rest of our lives. I love my job, everybody. But
Just in case the boss is listening.
yeah, it's a great job. But it's like everybody wants to put their name on something,
Right.
So that's like, what do we do? And it's like, well, what better? We love fishing for snakeheads, and honestly, the lures that we preferred to fish with weren't snakehead lures. They caught snakeheads. So we're like, well, first of all, we had an idea for something completely different than a lure company, which is coming, and it's going to be huge. We're not going to tell you guys about it yet.
I love it. I love the teasing that everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's going to change the snakehead world forever. But,
And everything's cheaper by the dozen.
yeah, you only need one. But so, yeah, we were like, well, what if we used these, what if we made some lures and used that to promote our other thing? And so I was like, screw it. I go online and I did some research and ordered some stuff that, made sense. And we went out and we caught snakeheads with them, like, right away. In a new spot that we had never been before. We're like, okay, well, this lure works. What can we do to make it better? So we made another order.
Now let me ask you this: Were you kind of like me? Like when everybody started making these lures, you were buying different lures to try them out, see how they worked, and you just weren't happy with what you saw, so you decided to take it upon yourself and go to the next step. Because that's how developing goes. That's how things come together. Sorry, I keep forgetting. But yeah, I mean that's how we develop things, and that's how we make things better. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, originally, why would this guy just start building bait? There has to be a reason.
Yeah. And
that was the reason that came into my mind was, well, the only reason I would build baits if I didn't like somebody else's bait that I was using, or I was not impressed, or thought I could do a little bit better. Well, I just heard a car go by about 3,000 miles an hour. Did you?
He was flying.
The first thing popped in my mind is Cash is there.
Yeah, he was missing a muffler.
Oh my Lord, man.
Before we go any further, do our first giveaway real quick. Sponsored by the Land Group.
Oh, the Land Group, my good friend Rob Fryer. Look, with hunting season upon us and things getting ready to bust loose right now, look, from the Goodlines Lure Company, you're going to get one of these new chatterbaits that they got out there called the Snaky Shaky. I like that name a lot. And, let's talk about the Land Group. They have thousands and thousands of acres available here on the Eastern Shore.
They sell dirt.
If you like hunting and if you like fishing and if you like to get away from the public and you want to hide out somewhere, Rob's got you covered. Look, if you're on the run from anybody, Rob will find you that special place that you can never be found again in your life. Okay?
Specializes in hideouts.
Hey, he specializes in everything, man, including hideouts. But yeah, so the Land Group, if you're looking for land, you're looking to retire, reach out to Rob Fryer with the Land Group. Rob, we want to thank you for everything you've done for us this season, sponsoring us here. We're going to be coming to an end here, so I want to start making it a point to thank everybody for everything you've done for us. And I don't know, Eddie, what do you think, man?
Oh, I've got it. Snaky Shaky.
Okay.
I can't wait for the autocorrects on this one.
Oh,
Snaky
yeah.
Shaky.
All right, so there you go, folks. In the comments, Snaky Shaky, and you can have that bait. So I'm thinking that that's got to be the reason he's gotten into this. So now you can't tell me that you're not hooked, or you wouldn't be building the bait to get them. You know what I mean? So how has production been so far, and how has the market been as far as the response to what you're making?
We have had a really good response. One of our favorite things to do is bring out these people that have been trying, for a year or 6 months to catch them, like we did.
You know what? Let's stop right there. I want to touch on that. We were talking before the show, and you said it was a long time before it came together for you. And I think that the reason I want to stop and talk on this is because so many people say, I came 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I mean, we knew guys that were coming here for a year that hadn't caught a snakehead, and I just could not fathom that in my mind.
It's like tautog fishing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's going to happen to somebody, I guess. That's just the way the wheel works.
Yep.
So I guess the question is, if you're designing all this stuff here, the market's responding good. You're not you've gotten bit here, but it took you a long time to finally get that to come together for you. Not just that, but it took a long time for you to really, really figure it out and dial it in.
Yep.
So my point is, for the new guy out there, you're here to help that guy, because you've been through the same struggle that he's been through. And I think that's kind of the wonderful thing. You know where that man is, I know where that man is, and we know how to help somebody that's in that position. So the bait, I think, is just absolutely amazing. And I think that you guys are doing some really, really good stuff here. I want to talk a little bit about the actual bait itself, because I know that there's things here that make your bait different than other baits. You know, there's lots of baits out here that say they catch snakeheads. I'm not saying that they do or they don't. But the thing about everybody that's making these baits is what they're doing to make themselves different. You know, everybody's got a selling point on the bait. And the selling points that you've shared with us so far, I think, are right on. You agree? I mean, I know Gary thinks so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, we've looked at the design. So I want to talk a little bit first about the wrap. Okay, the wrap on the bait. I don't know if you want to let Steve jump in anywhere, anything like that. You know what I mean? So you guys just jump back and forth with questions. That way I'm not, you know, somebody doesn't feel favored. That's all.
No, you're good. I kind of like
Kind of like hearing himself. Hey, would that be a narcissist?
Huh?
You can
A little bit.
hold
It's
that
okay.
up from
Yeah,
the
just
camera, too.
slightly.
Somebody called me a narcissist, and I didn't know what it meant.
Talk about yours.
So this is the shaky blade.
Shaky blade.
And this guy, so like I was saying earlier, most bass lures, so when this guy's trailing through the water, you're going to see him about like that, right? So most bass lures, your blade's a lot farther down. So with this one, we put it closer, and when it spins closer, and the head's loose. So the action on this thing is unreal. Like, you wouldn't believe it unless you put it on your pole and tried it yourself, but it's definitely, it shakes more than a chatter.
I think the thing that I like there is the way that you've recessed that blade back, you know, in front of that hook. You know, I think when
Yeah.
me and Jesse were talking, and you know, one of the first things I said is, that's going to make a difference in the bite. And you both said that's why we shorten it up, because we know with the shape of the snakehead's mouth versus a largemouth bass, we have to move this blade back a little bit so that the bite gap's there and we've got a good solid hook set. You know what I mean?
Well, it's going to eliminate a lot of the short strikes you get.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's a great feature of that bait.
Well, not only that, the hook's a little smaller than you'd see on most
It's heavy.
largemouth bass spinners
Right.
as well.
It's a pretty heavy hook, too.
Yeah, and it's 18 gauge wire that's been double wrapped.
Talk
I mean,
a
this
little
thing's
about the double
sturdy.
wrap, because a lot of folks only single wrap, and I want the public to know what you mean when you make that statement. So if you show them the bait, move it up there and kind of show them where you're talking about with this double wrapping. A lot of the baits, just so folks out there know, they're only wrapped one time. So that's the thing here, I think, that really makes this bait amazing.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's fine. A little bit further away. It's a little blurry. There you go, right there.
Okay, so if you look right here, we got a double wrap on the wire where the blade connects, and a double wrap on the head where it connects to the head. And that, like I said, that's 18 gauge wire. I mean, it's sturdy. It's built to last, you know?
Yep.
The other thing I like about that bait there is the way that the head swings, the free motion. You know, that's going to make a big difference in your bite.
You love a swivel head.
I do. I love all them swivel heads. You know, one of the first baits that I saw built in this business was a little chatterhead with a swivel hook behind it, and it was just amazing. You know, the bite ratio went from literally 20% to 50%. You know what I mean? Where I was my hookups. You know what I mean? I was definitely hooking the fish. So the chatterbait. Let's talk a little bit about the chatterbait.
Before we talk about the chatterbait, let's give away another lure.
What would you like to give away?
This one is sponsored by the Bait Boyz.
So the Bait Boyz, our good friend Damien taught. Look, folks, if you need bait, Damien will get you straight. Look, he's only a short distance from here at the Woolford store. If you're here in the local area and you need bait, you can get a hold of him early in the morning. He can meet you somewhere, or he can let you know who the vendors are and who we supply locally and around the state with our snakehead destroyers. And if you haven't had an opportunity to use any of them yet, it's a bull minnow. It's about about 3.5 inches, roughly, and you hang it under a bobber, and you will just catch the living hell out of snakeheads if you're in the right place at the right time, or you find a fry ball. I like to call it the fry ball bomb. So yeah, Damien, you're doing a great job out there right now.
Yep.
It's soft crabs, things like that, eels. Look, he's got all kinds of stuff available. Don't be afraid to ask him for something special, okay? Tell him I told you to. Ask for things that you don't see on the menu, and he'll get them for you. So we're going to give away a pack of these Goodlines Lure Company swim. Is that what it was? Swim bait? Is
Yeah,
that
just the
So just the swim paddle. Is that a paddle tail?
Yep.
Okay, so we got a swim bait paddle tail here. We're going to give them away. Gary, why don't you think of something?
I can't even see it.
Go ahead.
So that's Black Mamba.
Black
That is
Mamba.
the black mamba color.
Oh, I think that'll work just fine. Black Mama.
Black Mamba.
you
First
go.
one to say Black Mamba in the comments gets that pack.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the chatterbait that you got.
Yeah. I mean, a shaky swim bladed jig. There's plenty of them on the market. We took the same blade that we used, the same jig that we used for our swimmy shaky spin, and we put that on our chatterbait. we bend our own blades. So one difference is we put a double bend in that blade. It allows for a little bit more water displacement. So it doesn't have that real wide, kind of weird wobble that you see sometimes in some of these baits. It's just a really fast, heavy vibration. We also used a 2 times heavy-duty split ring between the blade and the jig head. So many times I've caught a snakehead. It's not even really that large, and it puts a bend in that split ring.
That death roll gets it, man.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're just trying to do things that give anglers a better chance of landing that snakehead. You know, the swim baits that we put on these jigs when they're purchased or packaged is just a 3.5 inch. It's not a 3.8.
Gorgeous,
it's not a 4.2.
Gorgeous.
It's not a 4.5. We've had snakeheads take the tails off of our baits so many times. We want snakeheads to get that on that first bite, not that first bite and then that chomp. You know, the newcomers to the snakehead world, you know, you get a bite and you're trigger happy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It never goes away. It never goes away.
That's the biggest thing
some
we've
days
taught everybody.
You're
is
on, you know, and you're like, okay, I got a bite, and now I set the hook.
Yep.
And then some days, you know, you're
It's
fighting
just-
hard for them, you're not on your game, and you know, you get a bite and you set the hook, and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't.
Yep.
I mean, we catch
hard
jumbo
when
yellow
you
perch
get-
on these. We catch big blue catfish on
I was
these.
going to ask you about that. What else
Yeah.
you caught on?
I mean,
I've
it's
seen the
just-
bass. You know, I've seen some of Steve's pictures and things
Yeah.
like that. You guys have been catching some really quality fish. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And the colors. I mean, like, I don't know if anybody saw that pink, man, but that pink color he's got is so hot and funny. I mean, it's amazing.
You want to talk about the colors?
Yeah, let's talk about what colors you got available. Let's talk about a couple of the big fish you've caught on these things. 'Cause I've seen some hammers you guys have been catching here lately. Now, you know, another thing I do want to talk about, we were talking about before we got started here with the show, was, you know, going to new places and finding new places. So why don't you touch on that a little bit, Steve, about how you guys fish? Because I know you guys aren't one of those guys that just go with information. You guys do a lot of your own researching and he's moving that mic over there so you don't get in trouble. I got you. So yeah, we'll go right back to colors. So let's talk a little bit about
Sure.
that. You know, I know I'm all over the place with my OCD, but you know, we'll get you straight eventually.
Okay, yeah, I'm used to it. So
I love it. These two, I can only imagine when I put them
Oh,
through on a
man.
daily basis.
so yeah, sometimes we get tired of going to the same places. Dorchester's, you know, 45 minutes, not that far, but we just know that they're closer to home. So we go on Google Maps and we find a tributary that runs into the Chop Tank or the Nanacoke or whatever it is, wherever we want to go. And we find a creek that runs off of that, and then we find a road that runs next to that creek, and we either go and we fish from shore or we throw the kayaks in. And I mean, we found a spot that nobody knew there was snakeheads at, and we catch 8-9 pounders every time we go. Not a lot, one or two fish every time we go, which is, you know, it's good. We drive 15 minutes up the street, and there they are.
Right, now everybody's going to Google where you live at, and they're going to see what's in a 15-minute. No, just good.
15-minute radius
We know how
around
it
the
goes,
house.
right? I mean, that's kind of what I want people to know from you guys is that they're everywhere.
Yep.
You know, and they're everywhere. Doesn't matter where you go. I'm not surprised when somebody says, "I saw one here," or "I found one here." Nothing
Speaking of-
surprises me
Speaking
anymore.
was that
of
one
everywhere,
caught today?
That's what I was just about to say. I saw a news article earlier today. One was caught just outside Boston, Massachusetts. So that was just on the news this morning. I saw.
Wow, that's pretty cold up there, man.
I know.
It can be
I'm
really cold,
that's
you
my
know?
thing. I'm wondering how they'll do in the winters up
Well,
there.
don't they live in Siberia?
Well, I mean, I guess they do. I don't know how it works though, because
It said it good. I mean, it says as far as north of Siberia, that's pretty darn cold.
that's pretty cold. Yeah, but I'm sure there's some kind of. I think they bed down in the mud in the winters there, don't they?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Either.
I
I'm
know.
not from
I know some of the
Siberia.
stuff
No,
I've
I'm
been
not
reading.
going
That's
there
what they
to
do.
find
You know?
Yeah.
I know the first couple winters
Do
here.
my
I don't know what the hell they
research
did during the winter, but they weren't eating here in the winter. I know that.
Anybody know of anybody from Siberia? We'll ask them.
We'll call them. Yeah. Find what's going on. I don't know, man. I mean, they're everywhere. That's the thing, you
yeah,
know. So you
that's
don't.
the truth.
It's not so much that you need to go to one place or what. I think the guys that are looking outside the box that are finding these new places, like you just said. I may not catch many, but I'm catching 8 and 9 pounders. You know, and I think that, you know, the coolest thing about the snakehead thing is that, you know, some places you go to, you know, there's going to be mass numbers. Other places you go to, you know that you already know just from the build up on the make of that particular tributary what's probably going to go on. You know what I mean? And some of these places that are real favorable for those snakeheads, guys are not finding, like you said. And just like you said, open up Google Maps and look, man, and you'll find these spots. Every tributary has it.
exploring.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think that the adventure of it, that's probably the best part of it. Just going somewhere new, not knowing what to expect, and then bam, it's
Yep.
like, holy moly, look at that, So
You'd be surprised you go in rivers. The people that have fished there for 20 years fish the same places for 20 years.
Exactly.
They never try the other places.
They don't go 2 miles up the river.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or in that
I'm
little
guilty of
gut or
that.
whatever.
Yep.
I'm guilty of that the last couple of years, and I haven't done much more than just right here, So I don't know if it's comfort or it's more time. I mean, I think that
I
if we
think
have more
for us,
time, we
for
would
us, I
go,
think a big thing is time. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, so let's talk more
Yeah,
about the colors.
That color, Steve.
Yep.
Sorry, bud. He wants to himself again.
Yeah, he wants to put his headphones back on.
I love it.
So yeah, talk about your colors, how you got there, what colors you have, the whole works.
So throughout our years of fishing for snakeheads, we have used multiple lures, multiple colors. So we came up with a 6-color scheme, if you would.
System,
Yeah, 6-color system, and that's with each lure that we have has those same 6 colors. The swim tails that we make and pour have those same 6 colors. And we kept our names fun and light because there's so much stuff out there. It's like, just kind of a little dark. So, but I mean, it's all good. I'm not hating on nobody or anything. So, Blue Manchu.
I like that.
Okay. We have Chartreuse, right? Black Mamba. Oh, there we go. White Out. What am I missing?
Hanky Panky.
Hanky Panky.
Is that the pink?
Yeah.
That's the pink. Hanky Panky. Fire Dancer. Fire Dancer's a color. Yep, that's Fire Dancer.
Oh, I like that one.
I do too. We like orange here.
Yeah, orange is a sleeper color.
It's because Eddie likes the Orioles.
No,
I'm
orange
just
catches
kidding.
fish. That's why I like it.
Orange is a good color. We like
Yeah,
orange.
that's my sleeper color, man.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
orange catches.
Yep.
But yeah, so how did you come on these colors? So
We kind of just, like I said, over the years, we've fished different colors, and these seem to be the 6 that we really, have done well with.
Yep.
So when we put something out, we want to make sure that, those colors are good colors, and they match.
I think another thing too, I really like what you're doing here because you're not throwing a million colors at somebody.
Yeah.
I think the more basic, and I hate to say base, use that word, but the more downsized, I guess you want to say, as far as colors go, I think the more successful the company's going to be. And I'm only saying that from watching the other guys when they started making all these different colors.
don't tell that to Bass Assassin.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying you don't need 1,000 colors, and if you dial it in and you got the right color, you're going to do it. And I've been seeing the pictures of the stuff you guys are catching. Yeah. Now, I know you ain't just buying them somewhere and flattening them and holding them up there, so I know the shit works. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's like a lot of lures. The frogs, those people ask me all the time about frogs. There's 50 colors hanging on the wall. Oh, which one do you like? Well, I kind of like that one. Well, get that one because they're all the same color on the belly.
That's right. They're all white underneath.
Right. Yeah.
That's why the one frog I do like has an orange belly on it, and,
Yeah.
and it's always done well for me.
Yeah, that one and,
Yeah.
and the,
Yep.
the white bellies, both. But yeah, it doesn't matter. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what color the frog is.
Right.
If either of you guys had to pick a bait and a color that would be your favorite here on the table, what's yours, Steve?
Snaky Shaky White Out.
All white?
Yeah, and I've caught my 2 last personal best on a Snaky Shaky White Out.
Early and late, right?
Yeah, white's just always a good color for me. It's always a go-to.
What time did you catch them, though, early or late?
I think both of them were in the evening. Yeah.
What is your biggest snakehead?
9.7 pounds.
And you want to say the river or no?
Maybe at some point.
Okay, just forget that. We're good. Don't worry about it. Let me go over to Jesse. Jesse, what would your pick be there if you could only use one?
The Fire Dancer, the orange chatterbait. But Sunday I ran out of my chartreuse paddle tail, so I was using a chartreuse snaky shaky, and I threw a pink paddle tail on it. So I made an electric chicken, on the fly.
I love it, electric chicken.
Yep.
And I mean, and it was just like that. They must have turned on at that point because I mean, it just turned on.
So you're saying turned on? I mean, do you guys agree with like what I've always said? When they eat, they all eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can catch stragglers throughout the day, but once they turn on, it's like you want to be there.
Yep.
So
Like the blitz and the surf.
yeah.
What's your biggest so far, Jess?
Mine was in Peach Blossom. It was 10 pounds and like 29.5 inches. So yeah, so we're not up there like some of you guys are, but
Well,
You
you guys.
my heaviest is like six and a quarter pounds, but it's 32-inch fish was only 6 pounds.
That's unreal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unreal.
that's the thing that blows my mind. You know, we got 34-inch fish. It's 7 pounds.
I've never weighed any of my big
13
ones.
pounds.
Yeah.
Biggest one I caught was 34, right behind Charlotte because I sent her pictures.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
my wife caught one was 34 and a quarter inches and it was 13 some pounds.
Yeah.
It was a monster, absolute monster.
I want to talk about the tournaments that you guys fish, but I want to talk to Steve a little bit. Steve, I understand that you enjoy hunting. I mean, you hunt a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you like to hunt? We got a lot of viewers out there that are into hunting too. So let's talk about a little bit about hunting with you for a minute. How's
Before
that?
we do that, let's give you another lure.
All right.
This one's sponsored by Bassrack Outdoors.
Bassrack Outdoors, my good friend Kevin Hogan. Look, if you need some beautiful apparel and you want to check out some really, really awesome design stuff that this guy has over there, look, it's always a contest between Team Steam and Team Boyle. And if you don't know what that means, then you need to go over and check out Bassrack Outdoors. And look, another thing. If you are into eating these snakeheads, you know, and if you're into anything, period, whether it be pork, any kind of meat, anything like that, Eddie, we've had the seasoning.
It's pretty good.
And it is amazing. So make
Pretty
sure you
good
check
doesn't do
out.
it justice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. So make sure you check out the seasoning line that he has available. We had it here on our Trigger Grill from CCA and Dave Sikorsky. And we served it to everybody all day, and they absolutely loved it. Gary, you loved it. You thought it was pretty good stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, buddy.
And he named the cans after his grandmother and grandfather, if I remember correctly, correct? So yeah, Kevin, we're really happy with what you're doing out there. Thank you so much for sponsoring us and helping us with this tournament. And look, folks, make sure you check it out. If you are a crab picking champion, you can get that medal over there. He's got so many stickers, so many different things that are just so cool. You got to check them out. The
How
hats,
cool are they?
They're pretty cool. And the hats are really cool too. I'm going to use the word cool every other word for the rest of this whole podcast. You ready?
And what
So-
you can't say.
Tigers.
You're lucky his hands are full.
Right? Let me see what you got there. So,
What do I got to say?
Shake your blade.
No
Blue
red.
Manchu.
White and blue, no red.
nah.
No, that's chartreuse.
Now, you ready? Here you
I
go.
can't see.
I'm going to make it hard. I love Goodlines Lure Company. That's what you have to write.
Easy enough.
No, it's not. It's
I like it.
That'll work.
So,
works for me.
so
Now we're talking about.
let's talk about some hunting. So, Gary, I want to bring the hunting into the picture in the podcast today because we know it's coming up. We got bow hunting getting ready to happen. Everybody's baiting. Everybody's getting their stands ready. Everybody's cutting their lanes in, doing what they got to do. Steve, you say you like bow hunting. What kind of bow hunting do you like to do? Deer hunting? Is that what you hunt?
Oh yeah, whitetail.
So, when did you start bow hunting?
I actually got into it a little late. I didn't grow up hunting, so I guess probably 7, 8 years ago, something like that. Yeah, a friend of mine turned me onto one, actually right down here in Cambridge, on some private property. That's where I got my first deer.
Have you? So you're hunting here in Cambridge. Have you had a chance to shoot a sicker? Have you seen any?
No.
We're gonna
I haven't
change that.
targeted them because I haven't, like whitetail was a big enough chase for me. I was like, I'm gonna stick with this for a little while. So I've done pretty well, and I hunt a lot of public land as well. But I mean, there's nothing like standing up in that stand and you got 6 pair of eyes on you, and you're shaking like a leaf, and you're trying to pull back this bow.
Oh,
and
don't go sicker hunting. there's no recovery for sicker deer.
yeah,
It's amazing. It's probably the most addictive thing I've ever done.
I
as far as
believe
hunting
it.
goes.
It's usually I
pretty
gotta
much
choose.
give up on whitetail hunting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a couple pretty good places to go, and I didn't go in either one of them. I did go one time. I took my cousin down to one of them, but sicker deer is definitely that's what I chase. They're a lot of fun.
What are some things that you're
I bet.
doing to get ready now, Gary, for the season? I mean, I want to
just-
talk about tree
just
stands,
feeders
harnesses, and
and-
safeties and things like that. So, what do you do each year to make sure that you're safe and that you're going to be secure when you're out
First thing I do on private land is anything that I've got up already, change straps out. Number one, change
there?
my
That's so
straps every
important.
year,
That is
man.
so important.
$29.95 for a new set of straps is cheap. It's $89 to get into the ER.
I just want to talk about a story real quick. And you might remember this a couple years back on Bump's Neck. Remember the guy that fell out of the tree stand down the end they landed the helicopter for that night? That's exactly what the problem was, if I remember correctly, was his
I got a
straps were
couple
rotten.
friends that limp worse than I do. Yeah. And from tree stands, man. It's the number one hunting accident.
Safety
It's just-
harness. I mean, do you wear one when you're up there?
Most of my stuff, I have safety harness, and when I'm on Blackwater, I'm using climber all the time, so I don't use safety harness because you can't. You got to go up the tree to put it up there, so you're already up there, you know. And if you come down, you got to go back up to get it down, so you can't, you know, doesn't really apply. But on my stands, I usually buy really good quality stands. I don't buy cheap stands.
Or build your own.
And this year's the first I've always made a joke about wooden stands. And, you know, I'm a builder. I built for 40 years. I've been in business, and I don't go in wooden stands. And I built one this year, but it's half metal, so. But,
I can't wait to show it. I mean, I can't wait to show it. I really can't.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the response on the page when you post it.
I was surprised. There's a little website, DIY Blinds.
DIY.
Got 187 replies on that when I put pictures of it on there.
Wow. That's
How many negative?
Some guy told me I should change my straps and put stainless steel cable on, and that was it.
It's always one, right?
The other guy said don't use it if you're claustrophobic, which I
some
could
guys-
agree with him on that one.
Yeah,
but-
somebody said it was claustrophobic. It's small. It's 5 foot in diameter, but it's enough to sit down in. You can stand up, and it's 4 windows in it. That's all you need.
The bigger the tree stand, the more they can see it, right?
That's
so
it.
That's kind of how
More
it goes.
stuff to take care of.
What
That's right.
what else are you doing to get ready? You cutting lanes
That-
out? I mean,
Sick deer, you got to be real careful. What I've found with cutting lanes, what you need to do is cut your lanes in March, and keep them trimmed. But you can't just cut a path like you do for a whitetail. It won't come to it. We did it a couple of years ago. On the 5th of November, we cut. Actually, didn't cut. Just the guy took an Argo and drove out and drove back, and we never had another deer on camera till January, the end of January.
what about getting your crossbow and all that stuff ready?
That's already ready. I had it restrung last year, and I'm good to go. So, I'll get hold of Bart if I need it.
That's right.
I really think that this year we're going to see some really, 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 really serious deer coming out from down here. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not
good
just
year.
here, though. I
It's
mean,
been
even Cecil County, like where you're talking about, where you're from up there, driving up 301 and 213. Oh, my good Lord, man.
How do you even see the deer up there? You drive too fast. I don't
You
even
gotta look at the road.
No, dude, haven't you ever seen? I hold my phone up and put it on slow motion, right? That's why I have it on slow motion video.
Why do you think he carries those 2 dogs? They're driving.
Yeah, you can see all the trucks up and down through.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them.
Well, there's not been the stress on them this year that it has been in
right.
years past. It's been really hot, but it's been wet.
I'll tell you
had
what
plenty
I've
of water.
noticed. It's not as many people down here in Lower Dorchester scouting as it normally is.
Yeah, I
noticed.
kinda
It's
picked up
less
on that,
people
too.
scouting than I've seen in the past. So I think might
Well,
be less pressure on
it'll
this
be
year.
interesting to see what this thing or Blackwater changed.
Right.
In previous years, your
You're limiting
Blackwater
Yeah.
federal
you know
land
what, you know what,
count
Gary?
didn't count
Touch on
towards your
that real
Maryland.
quick for the folks out there that are not aware of that change that comes with Blackwater.
In past
and Steve,
years-
if you haven't checked into getting a permit in Blackwater, you should probably look into doing that because there's so many places here to hunt that are just
30,000 acres of
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah, there's plenty of public land for sure.
But in years past, your quota on Blackwater did not count towards your Maryland quota. If you hunted state land, it did, but not on federal land.
Right.
This year it does.
Yeah, they changed it this year.
So you're allowed 3 by bow, and it doesn't matter if you get 2 on Blackwater and 1 on private, or all 3 on Blackwater. or all 3 on
So
private.
you mean
You're
I
free.
can't have 18 Sika anymore? I can only have 9?
Oh, you can have them, just don't get caught.
Okay. No, I ain't doing that shit, man. Don't even say that on here, man. We'll all be getting stopped tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Good luck to get the 18s, all I can tell you.
Right. So Steve, let's talk about some of the deer that you've harvested. Have you harvested a few so far?
Yeah, I've done pretty well. I've had 2 10 points,
Ooh,
8 point.
man.
My first deer, it was kind of like right on the border of dust, but I took a shot anyway, and ended up being a button buck. I thought it was a doe. So.
That's okay.
Happens to the best
That's
of us.
okay.
Yep.
You horn hunter or for meat?
Can I say both?
Yeah.
Look, I put when you put a lot of time into the field, and you put all that work, the scouting and cameras and setting up your stand and scent control and safety, like that's a lot of work. So when you harvest a deer of nice mature size that has some antlers, I'm proud of that. You know what I mean?
for
Because
sure.
I put the work in the field.
I'll tell you one thing that's changed for me this year, and I'll think about it more. I always kind of pay attention to it, but in years past, first time I see one, if it's not it's not still in the bottle,
That's still in the bottle. On the teeth.
I'm going to shoot it.
Yep.
You know, because I've got 2 more quotas to fill.
That's right.
But got to be a little more careful this year.
That's right.
A little more selective. But I'll tell you, I get as much fun out of just watching. They crack me up.
I like, I like the, if I'm hunting antlers, man, I like rattling. I like calling. I like getting into it. You know what I mean? I like getting on the ground and running 100 yards and banging them antlers again and laying there in the brush and just look around, see if anything moves. Don't see nothing, get up, run 100 yards, bang them antlers together. What are you guys laughing at now?
I can see
Damn it.
I can see the deer banging their antlers and you running.
Getting a little doe urine on you.
Look, Steve. These guys make fun of me for hunting. I'm going to tell you why, okay? Because just
tell them the one story.
Okay.
That'll sum it up.
The 3 that I missed?
Yeah.
Okay, so like
In one evening?
at one time.
Oh, okay.
So not last year, but the year before, I was over in Hurlock, and I built this nice 2-person stand, just a big stand, so I could just play with my toys in there and have all my trinkets out. I'm funny when I go hunting, you know. So like so my box is pretty big. I got all this burlap behind me, hiding me and stuff, but then I've got all these little totes in here with like grunt calls and antlers, and I got totes over here with video games and stuff like that, and then I got a tote over here with extra gloves and
really
wipes.
organized.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if I get bored, I got stuff I can do to keep me occupied, right? So I'm sitting there, man. I know these deer have been coming through about this time, every day. I've been seeing them on my camera, so I'm like, I'm gonna hop in there and I'm gonna see if I can get me a shot on this buck's following these doe. So I'm sitting there and I hear bloop. It was real wet, not last year, the year before, so you could hear them when they were coming in, bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm like, somebody's coming, man. But that didn't sound like a deer. That might be a person. Looking around, looking like, oh shit, there he is, he's right there next to the tree stand. Right under me, man, there's this doe sitting right there, right? And I'm like, oh man, and she's looking up like this, and I keep ducking back every time she looks up. I look forward, she's looking up again, I'm ducking back again like this. I'm keeping my eyes away like this, using my peripherals so she can't see me look at her if she does see me. I'm trying to think I'm doing all the right things as a hunter, man. I'm not a great hunter, dude. I'm a sucky ass hunter, dude. I am a horrible hunter, okay? I'm the worst of the worst.
Everybody listening already knows that.
So anyway, so I'm like, I'm going to let this deer get out in front of me before I do anything. I was getting ready to hop up and just start unloading right under the stand, you know what I mean? Sure. With a 30-06, with 3 shots, whatever, ready to go, bro. You know what I mean? Ready to go. Just squeeze the trigger as fast as you can. So I'm like, all right, let this one get out in front. So as it's getting out in front of here, bloop, 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 I'm like, oh, shit. There's some more deer coming, too. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I better make sure everything's ready to go here. Yeah, my safety, I'm ready to go, man. I got a full clip here, man. I mow all these things down when they get in here. I'm going to wait, man. Let this other one get out in front of me, too. So as it comes out, see, it's got another 3 of them, right? It's actually 4 of them, but the 3 got out in front of me. The other one stayed back here. So I'm like, all right, man, all right. Just let's get your stuff together. Let's think. Lean back against the tree and stay still so they think you're part of the tree, you know? So I'm leaning back against the tree, and I'm, all right, man. And we're looking, and I say, okay, let's do this, man. Let's count down. 1, 2, 3. No, wait. Where's that 4th one at real quick? Let me look one more time. All right, she's over there. These 2 don't know. These 3 out in front of me don't know what's going on. 1, 2, 3. Bam, bam, bam. Ah, ah, oh my God. I just killed them all. Oh, yeah, oh. Right next to me, my phone's going, dude, was that you just shot 5 times? Yeah, man, that's me, man. I killed them, man. They're all dead. I don't know which way they went, but they're dead, dude. There's blood everywhere. I get down there, ain't no blood.
You didn't hit one of them.
Man, I'll tell you what I did do. I chipped the one's leg when I went to shoot the 4th one that was behind me after I shot the 3 out in front of me. The one that was standing the furthest away, I wound up hitting that little sucker in the leg, and we found one little piece of bone, one little spot of blood. But out here you found nothing but a bunch of living deer. I'm going to tell you that. So.
There you go, folks.
That's
Post your child for the 10-clip round.
Yeah, so, yeah.
10-round clip, rather.
So, yeah, so that's like me. The littlest, tiniest deer gets me so wound up, it's not even funny, man. I'm serious.
It's not. It's not the deer cast.
We should put him in my stand and lock the door.
The round with the 5-footer?
And go out and do a drive and have them all run by.
Oh my God, that's another story I could tell you about.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, Steve, if you get a permit for Blackwater, don't ever do a drive in Blackwater. Don't ever do it, dude.
No?
No, chiggers, man.
Hit him.
Guys, let's give away our last giveaway real quick. Sponsored by Roy Bradshaw.
Our good friend Roy Bradshaw. Look, folks, if you're down here and you're fishing and you run into any kind of trouble, whether it be on the side of the road, you've been a little fender bender, the cops got you, and you were drinking a little bit, you need to ride somewhere, give Roy Bradshaw a call. Look, if you need your car picked up, you need body work done, if you're looking to restore a vehicle or anything like that, he can find you the stuff that you need so that you can do that.
Hit one of those deer that ran from calves.
Call me first so I can get the meat, and then we'll call Roy and we'll get you straight. And if it's a nice deer, then I might pay for the tow too. So yeah, seriously, if you're down here and you need towing services, anything like that, and you get stuck somewhere, reach out to Roy Bradshaw and he will get you out of the jam that you're in. So let me see that color there. So in the comments, Jesse, what do you want to put in the comments?
But sell good lines at Woolford store.
Sell good lines at Woolford
Look at
store.
that. Here we go. All right, I like it. So sell good lines at Woolford store. I want to talk about a bigger giveaway that we were talking about before the show.
Yeah.
So, Jesse had an idea here, and, he was asking us, if it was okay for us to do a giveaway with him and help him, get some products out there. And we got a 6-pack of lures here that Jesse's going to give away, and Jesse's going to tell you now how you have to be entered in that. It's not going to be a giveaway for this week. We're going to do this over. Eddie, help me out here because I can't remember what we all said here. So.
Hold on, I'm writing down the winner. We'll give him 1 second.
So tell a little bit about what we're going to be giving away.
Yeah, so we're going to put a box together of 6 lures. We're going to do 3 of our shaky spins and 3 of our shaky snakies. Each one of those has a custom color matched paddle tail on it, and we're also going to include an extra one. So yeah, 6 lures. It's a pretty decent box.
And
6 of our favorites.
You guys were talking about how to run the contest.
Yeah, so
I don't remember what we said.
What we're going to do is we're going to do a month-long contest for this one. Basically, you have to like Blackwater's Edge Facebook page. You have to like Goodlines Facebook page. We're going to post a picture of the actual prize, and then what you have to do is you have to share that post and tag 3 friends when you share it, and then that's how you're entered to win it.
Awesome.
So and then we'll draw the winner from that October 1st. It'll be after because it's through the month of September. So October 1st, we'll draw the winner for that.
Okay. I want to talk about the tournament that you guys just did in the Upper Bay with us. Okay?
Sure.
You guys did pretty good. So let's talk about how you caught the fish, how you guys found them. For those of you that don't know, we had a tournament that we just did a few weeks ago up there in the Upper Bay.
With Scott.
With Scott Sewell and the MR Bass Club. And it was a
Maryland
great
Waterways.
turnout. It was awesome. Maryland Waterways, yes, everybody up there.
Yeah, everybody had a good time.
We ran into some old friends from down here at the refuge that have moved up there now and are
Yeah.
working at the park. So that was pretty cool to do that. Jesse, tell us a little bit about the tournament, what you guys did and how you guys did it.
Well, that was certainly different than any of the areas around here that we fish. It's like grass from the floor of the river to the surface, and our lures are not weedless lures.
Adjustments.
Yeah, so the first fish of the day caught in the tournament, I think, was me on a fire dancer snaky shaky, and I was just fishing the hollow spots in the grass, right on the shoreline. And throughout the day, we were fishing those hollow spots between that grass and the shoreline, and out in the middle of the grass. Caught a few on our topwater frogs. I think I pulled in 2 fish total. Steve pulled in 2 fish, and we came in third. So it was pretty awesome. Our first tournament as a company to place. It wasn't a huge tournament, but it meant something to us.
I'll tell you what, I think it meant a lot to a lot of people because this was the first one that we did up there, and just from the simple turnout that we saw,
I think everybody had
I'm
a good
pretty
time.
sure we're going to be doing this again. You
Yep.
know, I do want to talk about another tournament, September 25th, Port Deposit. We will have the flyer out tomorrow. We'll have all that up. Jesse, I know you want to get involved with some of that up there. So, folks, for those of you that are looking for anything that's upcoming, you've got that tournament, but then most of all, we've also got our tournament.
Our tournament.
So, Eddie, why don't you tell me about our last tournament of the year, and we'll go ahead and do we let them see what they can win? Do we want to do that? Or
We'll
what
get
do
to
you
that.
think?
We'll
Okay.
get to that. So, but first, let's talk about the date. September 18th. That is our final tournament of the year in the Snakehead Championship Series. $50 to enter, sponsored by Angler Sports Center. We have Calcuttas that are $10 each to get into. Heaviest of the tournament, sponsored by Bassrack Outdoors. Longest of the tournament, sponsored by Horseman Enterprises. The most harvested, sponsored by the Land Group. And the heaviest of the year, sponsored by the Bait Boyz. The current leader for that is Justin Klein with 9.55 pounds. And, of course, we have the free-to-enter kids division, sponsored by Roy Bradshaw's Body Shop. And we're going to figure out who the winner of the Angler of the Year prize is, sponsored by CCA Maryland's Great Chesapeake Invasive Count. The current leader for that is Justin Klein with 324 points. And, Gary, why don't you show them what they're going to win whoever wins.
Do you want to show them both, or just want to show them one?
Let's show them the belt first. because that belt, we showed the belt at the last tournament, and people loved it. But for those of you who haven't seen it, it is beautiful.
I just set it back a little bit.
Hold it down a little bit. There you go. There it is.
So, so it says on the Angler of the Year Snakehead Championship Series 2021.
Yep.
It has a placard on each side of
There's
all the tournaments that we had to trail.
Two on each side, one for each tournament.
Yep.
So, and then that's for the champion Angler of the Year there. And then why don't you show him the other trophy too, Gary?
Well, while he's doing that, let me just talk about this, okay? Here's the deal. Even if you're not in the running, okay, the prize is that you win your first place.
First place is still $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
even if you're out of the running.
Even if you're out of the running, you're not up for Angler of the Year. If you got skills and you're not afraid to come down here and show them to us, then come on down here and show us how good you are. And if you are that good, check this out.
There it is.
Bronze, baby, bronze.
That thing is beautiful. And Dave from CCA, he contacted the artist to have it made. The guy does sculptures all the time, and Dave contacted him about doing a snakehead, and it turned out fantastic.
It was amazing.
It
And
is
look,
beautiful.
let's talk a little about the CCA, the Great Invasives
Yep.
account. Why don't you go ahead and plug that, the link? And
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So the CCA Great Invasives count here, Great Chesapeake Invasives count here. You know, if you catch blue catfish, if you catch flathead catfish, you catch snakeheads, anything like that, we're trying to collect as much data as we can. And look, folks, we are doing great with the amount of data that we've collected. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to go look, especially at the Maryland DNR log, of where fish are being caught, the size of the fish, and you can find all this online. That's what amazed me. People say, oh, they're not catching none here, not catching. You go look at that list from DNR and look at the rivers where they're catching. They're everywhere. So with CCA, what you can do is you can go ahead and register your fish, you know, through there, and the link is
ccamd.org/count.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture of your fish. You're going to have the length of the fish. You're going to have, you know, where you caught the fish. We don't need the exact spot, just the body of water.
Yep.
And if you want an extra entry, you can also.
Yep. If you get one entry for catching the fish, and you get another entry if you want to gut sample the fish and upload what's in the stomach contents. That way we know what the invasives are eating, where you caught them at. And so if you catch a fish and gut sample it, then you get 2 entries into the prizes for that month.
And for those of you out there that have been working with me, you know, if you want to send me your if you want to do your gut sampling and you don't want to post it on Facebook, you know, like you've reached out to me and said you don't want people to judge you, that kind of thing, that's no problem at all. So if you want to reach out to me privately, you can send me a message on Facebook with the picture of, you know, your gut contents and things like that. If you're not going to do the CCA, I have a lot of folks that have been doing that with me, and I have several hundred pictures that I've gotten here in the last 2 months of snakeheads from around the state of Maryland and what they're eating in different bodies of water. And I'm putting together a little chart and a log of that just so I can see some comparison of
And the
what's
gut,
there
the
and
gut
what's over
sampling
here.
and the location it's not so that we can
Go catch your fish.
go to where you caught him and
No,
know what bait to bring.
we want to know what your secret spots
It's
are.
for data for DNR.
Right, and that's all it's about is data. So you get 2 entries there at CCA. You can go over to the Maryland DNR website and you can log into the snakehead section. You can see there a map of where everything's been caught up to like 3 days ago. So, you know, lots of people are saying, you know, what's going on, where it's going on. And it just amazes me that folks are like, well, they're not really exploding over here. But that says something different, you know, to me anyway. So, you know,
I wonder if the one from Boston's on there yet.
I don't know. Did they catch it in Maryland? No.
Yeah, that's
Was the guy from Maryland?
the
No,
map.
no.
The map they have on DNR's website
yeah.
is the actually the U.S. Fish and Wildlife
yes,
map.
yes.
So it's the whole country.
I don't know if anybody's looked at that recently compared to like
I
a
haven't
year ago.
actually.
Oh my God, man! Like, remember, it used to be
There
like
used
just
to be a
measles.
spot,
Now
yeah.
it's like chiggers. You know, that's
Had to do it, didn't he? Get him.
so. But what else? The fishing club. You know, we got our fishing
That's
club
right.
meeting in 2 weeks.
It is September 15th. Yep, the third Wednesday of every month. We had to some last minute scheduling issues last month, so we had to cancel the meeting last minute because two of the three of us had some stuff pop up at the very last day.
It's been pretty crazy here last 2
Yeah.
weeks. We've been trying to do everything we can to keep
It's
on top of
summertime,
everything.
man.
You know, so. It's going to slow down here in the next month, Eddie. I'm praying
I
to
hope
God
so.
it does anyway. That or maybe more nitroglycerin added to my prescription tablet. So.
It'll be me that's being late all the time. Not dark yet. Not coming out of the woods till
Oh, that's
dark.
right. I forgot. We'll have to be
Yeah.
waiting on him for hunting season.
This week's Angler Spot of the Week from SnakeheadLife.com. I forgot to put the picture on our thing, so I don't have his picture. But Carson, that fished with your
with Jimmy, yeah,
Yep.
James, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. So for those of you that got a chance to maybe see that picture this week, you know, I've been doing pretty good in a couple places, and I've been sharing with some friends, you know, what we've been doing, and he was pretty blessed, you know.
Yep.
He brought his buddy.
Carson
down.
caught his first one.
Carson come down here, got an absolute dragon, you know, for his first fish. So that was
Sponsored by Horseman Enterprises.
sponsored by Horseman Enterprise. My good friend Benny and Alex. Look, if you need a custom built boat and you need transmission work, look, they specialize in Caterpillars, diesels, turbos, whatever you got. You need to be out there on the water. You need to be out there making money. You need your engine to keep turning. You need them crab pots to keep coming over. You need them tongs to keep going down. You need to get a hold of Benny and Alex. Look, they can fix anything when it comes to a boat. I don't care what it is. They can fix a screw that broke. You know, they're that good, dude. So, anyway, yeah, so I've been friends with them a long time. They're great people, great folks to work with. And, yeah, man, so that's who's sponsoring our Angler of the Week.
That's right.
So, Jesse, is there anything that you want to bring to the table here, you or Steve, before we close out today? I mean, what do you guys, is there anything that we missed, anything you want to add, anything that you think would be beneficial to the public that you want to share with them, like your favorite spot? Right now, if you got PayPal, $250 to my PayPal, we'll get you to his best spot right now. I probably shouldn't. Just kidding.
I wanted to say hi to my wife, Maddie, and my beautiful kids, Scarlett and Frankie, just in case they're watching.
I believe they are. I believe they are because I thought I saw somebody earlier. Well, let me go back and look here. No, I can't find it now. I think they were watching anyway. Steve, is there anything that you want to add in there, or anything you want to say?
Yeah, my fiance Maggie and my daughters, you know.
That might be who it was, Maggie. I think that's who it was, Maggie.
Yeah, because they've been dealing with this full-time job plus making fishing lures, so God bless them.
Yeah.
They've been troopers so far. And also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, goodlineslures.com, or Goodlines Lure Co, my fault. Instagram, Facebook, we're on TikTok, and we have an online store, Goodlines Lure Company.
I'll tell you what, just looking at the post and what's happened,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been shared out 17 times already through the podcast, so we know a lot of people have seen this today. As far as the reach goes, I mean, we're looking over 1,000 already.
Nice.
So the name's out there, Goodlines is out there, and we're gonna watch you guys climb because that's what I see coming for you guys. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Look, the production, the turnaround. I mean, you're not waiting on baits. I mean, that's the thing, man. If you can keep up with the forward motion from here out, you guys got this thing. I know you guys got this thing. You know, and if there's anything we can do to help you, we're always here.
Well, also, you know, thanks a lot for having us on here.
Yeah,
This
man.
means a lot to us,
Yeah.
and we appreciate the time, and, you know,
We appreciate you guys
inviting
coming
us
on, for
here.
sure.
Thank you.
Before I forget, I need to announce the winners of all the giveaways. The first white lure was Mike Dunsmore.
Kapow!
The pack of black baits was John Burnett. Sorry, guys, I don't remember all the names. Of the
John
colors.
Burnett. I want to talk about him real quick before you get off.
The chartreuse one was Paul Berger.
Kapow!
And the pack of blue baits was TJ Henson.
We do pretty good with the giveaways every week. You know, I think people are pretty happy with everything. So that guy John Burnett you were just talking about, he was one of the guys. He was the guy who was sending me the picture at night. I was telling you about up at Lake Redmond of all the snakeheads laying up on the banks.
Okay.
So John, I'm glad to see you got something there. I'm glad to see you're still following us out here. That's really, really good. I think we should give away a couple crabs before we get out of here. What do you think?
That's up to you.
You guys like eating crabs? You guys know how to sing the crab stand
You like to
song?
sing?
Don't do it.
Oh, they don't know the crab stand
We
song.
don't know it, but we're quick learners.
All right,
Don't
good.
do it.
Steve's a good singer.
I just-
What am I singing? Wait a minute, what? What happened?
When you were little kids, do you remember the Oscar Mayer bologna commercial? You know what? I'm not thinking.
away your
I'm not
crabs
thinking here. I'm 57 years old. No, I'm just kidding.
but
All right, so look, folks, let's talk about crabs real quick, okay? Crabbing's picking up. Crabs are coming on. I told you last week when we got that rain that the run was going to start, and it is definitely starting. Now we got another, 5 inches coming tomorrow? Something like that, I think, in the upper bay. So that means what goes up must come down, and I've been saying that for a week. So we are down here waiting ready with our pots palmed in the water, waiting for them to come down here so we can fill your belly. So look, with the holiday coming, everybody's asking me this question. Kaz, you going to have plenty of crabs this weekend? I do not know, okay? That's the answer, you know. You got to understand this with the crab market, okay? We just had all these storms in the Gulf. You know, it's ripped that water to pieces. So it's going to be a little bit before they can rebound and get things going and coming back up to the north, you know? So that's ultimately going to affect the Maryland crab market. You know, folks always ask me about pricing. You know, what happened to the prices? Why did it go up? You have to understand that, I don't want to say crabs are like stocks, but, you know, when you look at the market as a whole, you know, if you're missing part of that circle, it has to be filled. So they're going to look for that resource somewhere else, and it's going to drive the market up. So what I see this weekend is one of two things. Either we're going to stay where we are for the prices, or we're going up. It's pretty simple. You know what I mean? It's really easy
You
to
should
figure
do the
out.
weather.
I know, right? So anyway, just stay tuned to us. I'm going to keep you updated daily what's going on. We're not going to come up tomorrow like we were thinking. I won't have the truck back until tomorrow afternoon. So I will see you guys back up there on Thursday with deals before the weekend starts. And the reason I want to bring these deals is because if we don't have crabs, at least you got something before we didn't get crabs. So that was the thought behind that, to try to help you guys. So anyway, yes, we're going to have something this weekend. Not sure what we're going to have. Just pay attention to Facebook. I'll keep you posted. Send me text, whatever. But we'll keep things going as much as we can. So before we go tonight, I want to give away 2 people some free crabs. So Nicole Pawlowski, hope I said that right. You get 2 dozen free crabs from the crab stand out there at 21338 York Road, Maryland, at the Maryland line. Bill Allen, I'm going to give you 2 dozen mixed Maryland crabs. So you guys stop out there this weekend, pick up your crabs. If you can't make it, please message me so I know. I don't extend crabs over like a 5-week period. You got to get them that weekend when you win. So come on out there and see us. And before I leave, I'm going to leave you with a little crabby jingle, and I have a good feeling that the Goodlines Lure Company is going to be coming in here singing with me. We'll see. No, I don't think so either. So anyway, let's get this thing going. My crabs, they have 3 first names. It's heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Absolutely mustard packed! So, if you ask me where they're all from right here on the Eastern Shore. They're 100% guaranteed Maryland number ones. At the crab stand, here's a fact I know for sure you're coming back. Kapow! Kapow! Kapow!